You are Locked On Mavericks Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Dallas, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, the Mavs came to play, and they came away with a win tonight. A very impressive win over the Celtics, 127-120. Here we go. Welcome into the Mavs Postcast on a Thursday night. Your team every day, and in our case, your team every game. My name is Jeff Biggs. Great to be with you as always. Thank you for watching Locked On Sports Dallas, your destination after every single game. You can also find us on the Locked On Mavs podcast feed. And don't forget, Super Bowl 59 is here, and there is no better way to make every play more exciting than with FanDuel Sportsbook. New customers can bet just $5, and if you win, you'll score $200 in bonus bets. Download the app or head to FanDuel.com to get started. And coming up on our episode this evening, how about Klay Thompson setting the tone with 23 points in the first half? He also knocked down the first bucket of the second half to keep that momentum going. That was great. Kyrie Irving finally getting a basket, finally getting a win and some baskets, but finally getting a win in Boston in his return to the Garden. And how about the Mavs bench tonight? Najee, Dinwiddie, Christie, has kind of a ring to it, right? They all stepped it up big time, and we'll talk more about all of that individually and what they did. But got to start with the Bigs takeaway from this one tonight, and that absolutely has to be the Mavs wrapping up this road trip and coming out tonight the way that they did after just an incredible, wasn't even a full week, right? But to come out and to go into this game, which was supposed to be a blowout, no AD yet. The good news is it sounds like AD is going to make his Mavs debut on Saturday against the Rockets. Can't wait for that. But in this rematch with the Celtics, the same Celtics team that had a big win in Dallas not too long ago, for this Mavs team to go into Boston the way that they did tonight, they came to play and they came away with a win. And it was very, very impressive the way that they started the game. They came out of the locker room, took an 11-point lead at halftime, built that up to 27. Yeah, it got a little close there at the end, but again, Jason Kidd had cleared the benches, and I mean the Mavs went. the Celtics went on a 19-3 run, but the Mavs still did what they had to do, pulled it out, held on for the win, and 127-120 the final. But I'll tell you what, that was like I said, a very impressive win. And you know, we talked about this the other night after the tough loss in Philadelphia, that you know, with all of the talk that's been out there and the Mavs and the criticism that they've received, and we'll talk more about that in a minute, but basically, you know, I mean, Kyrie said that, you know, he's still grieving. The fans are just crushed, livid, right? Completely upset, and understandably so. And so the whole narrative has been, well, you know, the Mavs, not only did they trade Luka, they didn't even make a good deal. And so for this team to have kind of that, you know, us against the world mentality, hey, you know, I'll ride with that. I'm down with that. I'll take that. I mean, they want to keep that going. They want to feed into that. And if that's what it takes to bring this group together, that kind of that edge and that chip, I'm okay with that. But that was a very impressive win, wrapping up what was already a long 5-game road trip that started with that win in New Orleans over the Pelicans and had 3 straight losses in between before a big win tonight over the Celtics, 127-120. Just the way that the game started, number one, but again, if you're the players, right? I mean, everything that you've been through this week, right? You're going into Boston. The Celtics are the champs. They rematch of the finals. They won big recently in Dallas. And, you've heard everything. These guys, they hear everything. They know what's going on. And for them to come out with the energy that they did after what was a brutal loss the other night in Philadelphia. I mean, that was a game that was right there for the Mavs to take, and they didn't do it. And so to come back after that loss with this week and with everything going on and all the criticism out there, got to give it up to these guys. And I hope for their sake, I made the comment that I think the roster as it is right now, not quite enough to win a championship. But you know what? I also said, hey, I hope that I'm wrong. And, we'll see what happens when AD joins the team. Hopefully, Derek Lively will be able to come back before the playoffs. That would be great. I'm not saying that's for sure. And, we'll see what Caleb Martin does. But it's going to be interesting. And I'm looking forward to being a part of it and hanging out with you guys, watching every game and watching how it plays out. And by the way, if you want to jump in via the comment crew, please, that's what we're here for. You are a postcast. We want to hear from you. We want you to be a part of the show. So please weigh in, give me your thoughts on what you saw tonight. But again, 6 Mavs in double figures tonight. Klay Thompson really, look, with everything that's gone on, with all the losing and everything else, and with the team where they're at in the standings, I mean, it's go time. I mean, yeah, we're technically not at the All-Star break, but they're in the second half of the season, and it's time for guys to step up and make plays. And I was very impressed. We talk about everybody else, but for Klay to come out the way that he did tonight, they needed that, man. They needed somebody to kind of give him a jolt and knock down some shots to kind of keep the pressure off a little bit. And to Klay's credit, I mean, he did that. 11 of 17 tonight, 29 minutes, team high 25 points. He knocked down 3 threes. The Mavs were 15 of 33 from beyond the arc, but just a great start by Klay. And then again, I really like the way that the Mavs came out of the locker room in the third quarter and just did not let up. That's been kind of an issue with this team, is when they have big leads or they play well. We knew a run was going to be coming. It came a little bit later than I thought, but you knew it was going to be coming. But I thought the Mavs did a really good job of coming out of the locker room in the third quarter and basically saying, hey, no, not tonight. We're going to win this game tonight. This is our night. We need this win really bad. We're wrapping up our road trip. We got to get this one before we go home. It's been a brutal week. We got a long flight. We're going to get the win here. This is our night. And they did that. And I give the Mavs players a lot of credit for that. In addition to Klay, Dante Exum very quietly ends up with 15 points, some good drives to the basket. And Dante, I mean, very quietly, we talked about Klay and his shooting. Dante knocked down 4 3-pointers. He had the most of anybody. And then, of course, Kyrie, I was a little scared in the first quarter when Kyrie kind of fell and took that foul. I thought maybe he tweaked his back again. But the fact that he was able to finish, ended up playing a team-high 40 minutes, finally got it going in the second half. I think he only had 4 points in the first half, ended up with 19 in the game, but had some really big buckets. That one shot by Kyrie, that was when the Celtics were on that 19-3 run. Kyrie had that nice bank shot, right? And that stopped the run. And so that was huge. And for him to win in Boston again back there, I know was a big deal for him. And so that was good. Good to see him. And, it's going to be interesting to see how this team evolves, because now that it's Kyrie's team, I mean, he loves playing off the ball. Everybody knows that. Everybody talks about that. So on one hand, he's going to be the primary ball holder, but on the other hand, if between Dante and Spencer Dinwiddie, if they can find a way to kind of take some of that load off of him just a little bit, that will help out tremendously as well. But good finish to the game for Kyrie Irving. And Daniel Gafford, again, ties his season high with 15 rebounds, 8 points, almost had the double-double. But, man, Gafford, who seems to, I give him credit. He had that little funk, a few weeks ago. But to his credit, he has stepped it up. And he's gonna be critical, down the stretch too. And I give him credit. He has a knack of just kind of knowing when to step it up and when the team needs him. And so I was very impressed with his defense. I mean, he's not, he's not a tremendous, naturally giant, super talented big. But what he doesn't have in the perfect height or the perfect talent or skill set, he makes up for it with his energy and his effort and his head, his smarts. And so I like the way that he is playing right now. And they're going to need that to, if they're going to do anything, they're going to need Daniel Gafford. And I was concerned about Gafford. After he left the game in Philadelphia with a shoulder injury, I wasn't sure if he was going to play tonight. So the fact that he not only played but ended up with 15 rebounds was a big plus as well. So the bigs takeaway for sure, just the heart that the Mavs played with. Again, they could have had another game where they just kind of were flat or went through the motions, or just kind of like, well, it's the last game and, we'll compete. But, if the Celtics win, no, they came to win tonight. They came to play tonight. They came to win tonight. And that's the mindset that they need to have. It doesn't matter what I say. Doesn't matter what all the experts say. They're the ones that have to get out there on the floor and they have to get it done. And you can tell that they were focused and on their game tonight, and that's what it's going to take. I mean, if you're gonna make a run in the postseason, obviously a lot of guys were a part of that last year. They know there's nothing new. They know what they have to do, but we're getting into the time now to start to crank it up, and that was a big win on the road to wrap up this trip. All right, we're going to take our first time out. Again, if you want to get involved via the comment crew, please do so. We're here for you. This is a postcast. We want you to be a part of it. I love talking about this team, and I have a lot to say, but I want to hear from you. I mean, that's what makes the show fun. That's why we're live. And so please jump in, share your thoughts about the game, about the trade, about AD, anything you want. Feel free to do so. We'll get to those comments when we come back. This is the Mavs Postcast. All right. Want to tell you about basketball season because it is heating up, and there is no better way to get in on the action than with Prize Picks, the best place for daily fantasy sports. With over 10 million members and billions in awarded winnings, Prize Picks makes it easy and fun to turn your sports knowledge into real money. Now, here's how it works. You just pick more or less on at least 2 player projections, and if you're right, you could win up to 1,000 times your cash. Prize Picks even has a free pick for the big game where Patrick Mahomes only needs to throw 1 yard to win. Pair that with one more correct pick, and you are cashing out. This week, I'm looking forward to looking at the board, maybe some more points for Kyrie, maybe Anthony Davis and his numbers. The best part, though, is Prize Picks keeps it simple. You can set your lineup in less than 60 seconds, and their fast, secure withdrawals mean you get paid quickly when you win. Plus, their Taco Tuesday promo gives you discounted player projections for even more value. So check out the promos, tab to tail any of the super sweet Millie winners. Big game lineups. If you tail a lineup that goes 3 for 3, you can win a split of $1 million in promo funds. Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNBA for $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Okay, welcome back to the Mavs Postcast. Jeff Biggs, great to be with you as always. Thanks for hanging out with me. Really enjoyed that win tonight. That was a very nice surprise, wrapping up what has been a very long week. The NBA Finals rematch, part 2, the Mavs. Great start. They had a 9-0 run in that first quarter, led 32-23 after the first. They had a 15-2 run in the second quarter. They were up by 18 in the first half. Klay with 23 points. That matched his output against the Wizards recently with 23 in the first half. Mavs were up by 11 at halftime. Gafford had 10 rebounds by halftime. That was good. In the third, the Mavs went up by 21. As I mentioned, Klay got the first basket. And then after quarter number 3, 104-83 was the score. And how about, I was kind of saving this, but is it just me, or, man, is Max Christie looking like better and better every time you see him on the court? He's like a baby-faced assassin. But man, I just I marveled at his game tonight, both ends of the floor. Just his ability, his presence, just he can go strong. Like you don't look at him as like a physically imposing guard or wing player, but he's very strong. He can go to the basket with authority and finish. And I don't mean just with dunks, but I mean he has a great feel for layups and little floaters, which is great. I liked at the end of the final basket of the third quarter. Remember what happened the other night when they couldn't get that shot off at the end in Philadelphia, and Dante Exum had the ball and kind of fell apart. And that, well, I liked what they did. It was like 5.2 seconds left. J Kidd brought all the starters back, and they used Kyrie as a decoy, and they were able to get it to Max, who made just a couple of really nice cuts to the basket to get that one in. And that was just very impressive, along with his shooting and his defense and his passing. I mean, his passing has been great, and he just seems to be really, really smart. It just knows what's going on, knows where to pass, knows just very, very impressed with his game. And a couple of my good friends and former colleagues, the Kamenetsky brothers, were saying the day after the trade, I think they said it with Nick also, that, hey, I know everybody's bummed out, but don't sleep on Max Christie. This guy's really good. And yeah, so far, so good for Christie. I really like his game a lot. And then you add that to what we saw with Najee, 20 points off the bench for Najee tonight, 9 of 15, and a couple of really, really key 3-point baskets, which was great to see for him. And Spencer Dinwiddie, he's kind of in that trek where he'll have a game like he did tonight, and then he'll kind of disappear for a few games, and then he'll step it up again. It would be great, especially now that Luka's not here and Kyrie's going to need some help. It'd be really nice to see him kind of get his game not necessarily up to a different level, but just a more consistent level for sure. But he had a very solid 22 off the bench, including 3 threes, 5 of 5 at the line, 7 of 10 from the field, a couple of rebounds, a couple assists. And I love the fact that tonight, as a team, the Mavs had only 8 turnovers the entire game. I mean, that's really good. That's really good. You want to go below 13, and to get to 8, they only had 2 in the first half. So very, very good. Rebounding tonight for the Mavs. They ended up, they got it out rebounded 40-35, but that's okay. It was close enough, and they, got the important rebounds when they needed them. But I like, Najee, Spencer Dinwiddie, and Christie were pretty much it. I felt bad for Omax. He came off the bench, did not score, played 14 minutes, and love the kid, love his game. I'm pulling for him, but he's going to have to do some work during the off season on just finding a game, in the basket. He continues to get the ball under the basket and just continues to have a tough time finding a way to score. Either he'll get blocked or fouled or can't get up a good shot. And so he's going to have to work on his moves, maybe get a little bit stronger during the offseason to help him finish. But he's in between, and so it's kind of hard. He may have to either try to drive a little bit more, but he's just had this problem of being under the basket and kind of standing there for a minute, kind of thinking about what to do. And then by that time, it's too late and help arrives, or he ends up getting blocked. And had a couple that were not critical tonight because it was a blowout at the time, but that could be, I think that's probably going to be an issue, for his spot in the rotation a little bit further down the road. But I hope not. I hope the coaches will work with him and he'll be able to improve on that and get a little bit better in those crunch moments. All right. I promised we would get to some of the comments, so let's do that. We got Jordan jumping in. Jordan saying that he agrees about Omax. Yeah, thank you, Jordan. I love the kid. I'm pulling for him, and I want to see him. Do well. He had a couple games like that, and then he what was it, 2 games ago? One of the games he had a much better game, and I thought, okay, now he's kind of getting it, and I felt like tonight was kind of a step back. But I'm rooting for him and like to see him do well. We didn't see Kyler Kelly or Brandon Williams or Jaden Hardy in this one. It was just one of those games where I think J Kidd was trying to kind of let the other guys, that small group off the bench, go as long as they could. But then Boston came back, and if it would have continued to be a blowout, I think we might have seen them get in at some point. But when AD joins the team, and PJ Washington will be back when they get back home, and also of course Caleb Martin whenever he joins. Not going to be until after the All-Star break, but we'll have to see where he fits in. But it's going to be very interesting. Cowboy Craig jumping in. Thank you, Craig. Can't wait to see this defense when PJ and AD are back. Yeah, me too. I'm curious how that's going to work with AD, PJ, and Gafford. How that's going to play out, because AD's made it clear he wants to play the 4. So it's going to be. I'm anxious to see how J Kidd kind of plays with all that and how that shakes out and who does what. But either way, it's going to be a work in progress for a while. And the good news is, I mean, after the break, which is coming up here at the end of next week, I mean, the Mavs are going to have a good month and a half to really tweak this roster, not tweak the roster, but I mean, tweak the lineup, find the lineups that work, get the rotation set. They're going to have to change the offense a little bit because, Luka's not here. So, I mean, Luka holds the ball so much. And so now that he's gone, there's going to be more for AD and more for the bigs. That's going to be important. Like I said, you don't want Kyrie, holding the ball every single possession. You want to have, I think, Dante and Dinwiddie to kind of help with that as well. So, as bad as we feel about the trade and as hurt as we are, we have something to look forward to on that front. And I hope, I hope we'll see this team really come together and go on a nice run. And it would be nice to see them play well and, surprise some people, including myself. That would be great. Luka fan says much needed win. Absolutely. Huge win. I hate the Celtics. I've said this. I said this after the game here in Dallas. We don't use the word hate in my house, but the Celtics are an exception. So to see them go into the Garden on TNT and blow them out the way that they did, I know it got close at the very end, but the Mavs they dominated tonight, and that was great. I love it. I'll take it. And one more from Jordan. Basketball is all about matchups, so we'll be able to match up with anyone who's replacing Maxey. Well, that's a good question. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. I mean, I don't think they're going to have anybody with Maxey. Obviously, they're not. They're not going to have anybody with his size, but that's going to be up to J Kidd to kind of find out who gets what minutes, who's going to be coming off the bench, what the second unit's going to do. Also, like I said, I'm curious to see where Caleb Martin's game fits in the midst of all this. So a lot of unanswered questions. And, the cool thing is, like, I mean this sincerely, as bad as this was, I'm excited to get to do these games with you guys and watch them with you and watch the process unfold ourselves. And we'll see, man. It's not always about what's on paper. It's ultimately it's about what's on the court. And if these guys play with heart and play with that edge, that'll be a fun thing to watch for sure. Trevor jumps in. Been a tough time as a fan this week. Absolutely, Trevor. It was, I still can't believe it. I mean, every day that's gone by, I mean, it feels like it's been like a year. It's just been, this week and this road trip has been so long. Cowboy, Jordan says, Cowboy, he agrees with you. Thinks he'll be okay, but still missing Luka. Absolutely. I heard Colin Cowherd. There's been so many people talking, as you guys know. I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but Colin, who I worked with back in the day, he said that he heard from a very, very good source. Who knows? Who knows? At the end of the day, we don't know, but he contends that it wasn't really Nico's plan, that this was strictly from the new ownership group, that they were the ones that said to do the trade. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. There's all kinds of other conspiracies. Nick did a great job kind of getting into all those conspiracies. I don't know about any of that, but Cowherd's point was that, Nico he's made good trades in the past, and this one on paper looked so one-sided that that Nico wouldn't be as stupid to only get one pick and not get more for somebody like Luka. Now, is that true or not? I don't know. As I've said all week long, we're never going to get the truth, at least probably not for a while. Someday, maybe we will. It might leak, but until then, we don't know. But the thing that's frustrating is, let's just say all the concerns, like, well, we like Luka, but we didn't think he could be a leader, or we didn't think he would take care of himself, or couldn't control his temper. Even if that was true, the frustrating thing is that now that they've said that, now that they've called him out, now he's going to go to LA, and now he's going to work on all that stuff, which is why, and I've been saying all week long, I wish, if you have those issues, get Luka, get his agent, bring him in the office, have a heart, say, hey, bro, look, we want to give you that. We want to, do it in a positive way. Say, Luka, we're going to give you the biggest contract in NBA history. We want you to be the face of the franchise. We already have, but we're the new owners here. We just want you to know, something like that, and just say, but we need you to be in tip-top shape, and we need you to control whatever. But we'll never know that, because he's gone now. And like I said, if that's true, if they were worried about all those things, well, now he knows he's on blast now, and he's going to be motivated to prove everybody wrong, in a Lakers uniform. And that's the frustrating part, because it's a whole different scenario than what was going on here. All right. Ryan jumps in. Let's go Mad Max. Yeah. I'm loving this guy's game. I really am. I'm not just saying that to try to make positive. I'm really genuinely from the heart enjoying watching him play. Like I said, I don't know what else to call him except, the baby-faced assassin. I mean, he looks like such a young man, but I mean, the dude is balling out, and he goes to the basket with authority. I mean, he's strong. He's a lot stronger than he looks. And he just, like I said, I keep saying it. I don't know what else. I don't mean to keep repeating myself. He's a headsy play. He's smart. I mean, he knows. He's very, very alert and very in tune with what's going on, and he can get down low and play great defenses, as Ryan points out. And yeah, baby Kobe. Yeah, he does kind of have that kind of Kobe mannerism in the way that he carries himself. I'm going to get sad because I miss Kobe, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, he's very, very nice surprise. So. I have to take my final timeout. When we come back, we're going to wrap things up with some final thoughts, and we'll look ahead to what's going to be a nice little Saturday afternoon showdown with the Houston Rockets, with what's going to be the debut, the Mavs AD on Saturday in Dallas. Can't wait for that. All right. Well, as you know, is it just me? It's been kind of a mellow Super Bowl week. I don't know if it's Chiefs fatigue or what, but Super Bowl 59 is here. One game, two teams, endless possibilities, and there's no better way to make every play more exciting than with FanDuel Sportsbook. Whether it's predicting the first touchdown, calling the MVP, or even betting on the coin toss, FanDuel makes it easy to get in on the action. With live betting all game long, you can adjust your bets as the game unfolds and feel the thrill from kickoff to final whistle. The live betting feature lets you stay invested no matter what happens on the field, and the app is super easy to navigate. Plus, knowing that you can place a $5 bet and potentially win $200 in bonus bets for the Super Bowl, I mean, that is the icing on the cake. So download the app or head to FanDuel.com to get started. Bet just $5, and if you win, you'll score $200 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com. Bet with FanDuel, official partner of Super Bowl 59. All right. Cowboy Craig with an RIP for number 24 for Kobe. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell some Kobe stories some night. You know, he was one of a kind, to say the least. All right. Hey, can't tell you thanks enough. I mean, like I said, I love talking about this team. I love watching these games and love breaking it down. I'm really excited to see how this team comes together. Still miss Luka. Still, honestly, I don't like to think about it. I don't like to go. But putting the blinders on, just trying to focus on this team, and I'm excited. I'm curious. You know, I'll say this about AD. I remember, he was very motivated when he joined the Lakers, and I have a feeling he's going to be really, really motivated when he plays and down the stretch here for the Mavs for this playoff run. He is going to be probably motivated more than at any point in his career, and so that's going to be a good thing. Got a few games here before the All-Star break. Nice little homestand where the Mavs will get to play at home. We'll see how the crowd reaction is, but they'll get to play at home. They'll be able to have some practice time. Guys will be able to take a break. I think they'll have hopefully they'll have a good feeling from the homestand, and then they'll take a little break. And after the All-Star break, kind of rested and recharged and ready to go, they'll go on a nice little playoff run, and we'll see what happens. I know everybody loves OKC and they love their roster and all that, but the Mavs aren't afraid of them. PJ Washington's not afraid of them, and my point is I don't see there's nobody in the West that you can say, oh, that we have no chance. I don't see that. So let's just see what happens. Enjoy the homestand, and it begins on Saturday. Can't wait for that game against the Rockets, a team they were really peaking a couple weeks ago, and now they're in this losing streak. I don't know if they won tonight or not to snap it, but it's going to be a great game on Saturday. So please, if you get a chance, I'll be back with you after the game on Saturday. We'll do this again. Thank you, though, for all of you that jumped in via the comment crew. Love you guys. Enjoy the night. Have a good Friday tomorrow, and we will talk on Saturday. And don't forget, Nick Anstead and the crew, Isaac, Slightly Biased. They'll have everything else you need to know. I know they're coming up in just a bit. But once again, the final score tonight, the Mavs 127, the Celtics 120. The Mavs get a huge win, big win in Boston. This has been the Mavs Postcast.